Looking to have your gunroom from looking like this to this? Stay tuned to find out how. So I've been looking to upgrade the lighting in the gunroom for quite a long time. The lighting I had was just not really sufficient. It really had a very dull look. And also in general, if I'm working in here trying to get gear together, setting up for classes, it's much easier to have proper lighting that would really make a difference with getting everything organized and ready to go. So there was a lot of different options I looked into. You could go on Amazon and find kind of like the light strips that go around the room. There's a lot of like those different things. But also when it comes to making a video, like the video that we're putting together right now, I wanted it to be clear enough that I could use it for videos and also still be clear enough to be using it for regular work. So finding that balance for me was a little bit difficult. And I looked through, again, a lot of different options. I even set up different lighting options in the gunroom to test out, and none of them really worked well. So I finally got in touch with a company that makes lighting, but their primary focus is to make lighting for garages. So they have a lot of different advertisements of them showing kind of supercars inside garages and different pictures that I'm going to put up on the screen. And I was very curious to see if that would be the kind of lighting that would work. Now, what this lighting really is a light strip, but which might not seem like much, but what's really valuable is that it's a light strip that also has a diffuser. So that kind of diffuser makes the light a little softer and easier to look at, as well as also making a very even lighting across an entire room. Now, a part of what made this very interesting to me is that this company makes kind of like puzzle kits. So you could go onto their website directly and find just smaller versions of what they offer, or you could go on Amazon and get kind of like the larger sets. The larger sets are primarily used for actual garages. So they actually sent out a garage set for me to be able to take a look at. And I only used a few pieces of the massive set that they sent out, which is really cool because it shows you how much variety you have and how many design options you could choose from based on the preference of what you'd want to be able to put together. So the individual gunroom used very few lights. The setup was pretty easy. The thing to take into account is that it's probably worthwhile to hire an electrician once you get your design down, just because in my specific case, it had to be that I had to rewire the room a little bit because the light that was originally in this room was a pull string kind of light. So going from that to end up putting a light switch and having put in different additional attachments to be able to make this function was probably a little bit more complex than what you might need to go through to get it done in a garage or get it done into any other room that you'd want. It just happened to be that in my case, it was a much more wise decision for me to have someone who knows much more about electricity setting it up than me, because it would probably have been a bad idea. So a part of what comes in the kit is a bunch of different light strips. So it's actually a full piece of pretty solid. It is aluminum, so it's lightweight. The diffuser is like a plastic. So they come like this inside the kit. They have the aluminum on bottom and they have the diffuser on top. And then on the front and back of it, there are going to be connection points of how you're able to mount it. So a way you're able to mount it is they have a bunch of these additional attachment points. So you pretty much put them in based on the design you want to be able to make. It fits in and then you're gonna hear a click. Okay, once it clicks in, you now have one piece. Now again, you could make them as long as you want. If you want to do it in a garage, you can make them as short as you want if you have smaller spaces. They have different types of attachments. They have Y attachments, they have straight attachments, they have right angle attachments, just based on the kind of setup that you're going to have. And you can really design it based on what you needed. Now, these lights were much brighter than I actually anticipated. So for the gunroom, we needed much less than what I thought. And we were able to do kind of like a really cool octagon shape on top. And then that was pretty much enough for the entire lighting of this room. So now I have a bunch of extra lights that I'm able to also put into my garage. I could also put it into the workshop, different areas that I might want to do filming, because in regards to filming, this is actually a very clean light to be able to use for that purpose. And again, for just regular use, being able to set it up for the gunroom, it might be worth looking into if that's something you want in regards to lighting. Included in the kit is like this user manual that came with it that gives you a bunch of diagrams and information that will be valuable for you to know. So you definitely want to keep that because also if you end up hiring an electrician, they'll give you additional information of things I honestly don't fully understand, but it was valuable for them to be able to make sure to know how to properly install it. Besides for these small attachments that they did include, which was going to be this one with this attachment over here, they also have longer ones. Again, if you're going to be using it in a garage, you have a full length bar that's able to go much further down, so you're able to cover a lot more surface space and give you a lot more lighting. I'm going to show you the internals of what this looks like. It's pretty much, again, like an LED strip that has proper wiring, so you're able to hardwire it correctly to an actual home or garage. And then by doing so, you could also make sure that it's attached to a switch. So a part of one of the issues I had was when I was going through Amazon and you have all these light switches, if you're going to be in a place that doesn't have a proper plug-in to the wall, so if it's going to be a gunroom that was built specifically for security, so everything is made of stone or everything is made of concrete, then you might not have had electrical being put in. So then the only way to get around it in that case would be to either hardwire it or to be able to get a battery pack based on those light strips. So I didn't want to get a battery pack because then I don't want to have to always think about needing to change batteries. I wanted to end up being hardwired, which is why I ultimately did get a light switch put in. I did get outlets put in. So then I have more options of things I'm able to do into the gun room. The additional value to having ports inside a gun room or any kind of room that you might be storing guns is you could end up adding a dehumidifier so you can reduce the risk of rusting all your firearms. So that might be something worthwhile to take into consideration as well. So if you're looking for a really nice lighting kit, fully set up, you're able to customize it based on your preference and use a lot of different areas that could get really nice, clean, soft light for your gun rooms. It might be worth going to check these guys out. I'm going to leave a link to their Amazon that you could check out directly, getting it from Amazon for the larger kits. And also, if you could just go to their website directly to get smaller individual sets if you don't need that much space coverage. So if you have any questions, if you'd like to see more about this setup, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. This is Raziel Cohen with ndftraining.com. Thank you for watching.